welcome back to my channel. This is Nicole with Made from Scrap, and I'm here today to do a walkthrough of this folio project that I made using the brand new Country Craft Creations Winter Magic paper collection. I have a link below to the walkthrough that I did of this paper collection when I received my design team package, but I'm just going to give you a little glimpse here. I've used some buttons here on the front, and I've definitely layered this up on some different My Colors cardstock and some of the gold paper. There, I've done a little bit of stitching, and of course I used the beautiful medium blue seam binding, and then this is a double-sided satin ribbon, the gold and champagne. So here is the spine. It is a 1-inch wide spine, and then here is the back of this little folio. So you open it up like this, just untie it here, and then we're going to see the inside, where we have on the left hand side a cute little belly band here with a little tuck, and this is one of the cut aparts from the collection. Okay, and then you open this up, it flaps down like this. And you can see that I have a little pocket down here. I have a beautiful spot here for a photo. And then this is just a little tuck like that so that you can put in some little photo mats. So this is from the border strip of the paper collection. I cut that apart and I just use those as additional titles throughout this project. Then you can see the beautiful paper here. I think I might put a mat here for maybe a 3x4 photo. But I don't want to cover this up, that's for sure. So then you open it up this way. I did a little cut along here with my straight edge so that I could have a little tuck spot there. And this is another one of those beautiful cut aparts from the collection. There's another piece from the border strip. And then here we have a flap that goes to the top, and you can see that I used the beautiful paper here and a little thin little strip, an 1/8 of an inch strip of that gold paper. Then I use the ribbon down here. So these flip up and down, and I have that My Colors soft blue there, and then I have the cutesy little rabbits down here. And we have another 2 flaps to put photos on that open to the left and the right. And then you can put a couple of photos in here, like a layout. So I think that's super cute. And then that closes up like that. And then on the right-hand side here, you can see in the middle, by the way, this is another one of those border strips from the paper collection. We have a little fun cut apart here. I've used the twine with a couple little buttons on the end, just tied it onto the end, and just tied that into a little bow. I matted this on some of that My Colors cardstock, and then you open it up this way, and you open it up this way. So again, a nice open spot for doing some journaling and some photo mats in here. Okay, and that just ties up quickly like that. Then this opens to the top. And you can see that I have a cute little tuck spot here, again from the border strip. I layered it on that piece of navy My Colors again. I have a couple of the ephemera pieces that I fussy cut from the collection. Then I made a little envelope using my envelope punch board, and then I just put a piece of the pattern paper inside. I cut it to size, so we'll go over that in the tutorial. I have a couple of pieces left over of that My Colors and the gold, so that just tucks in right there, but look how cute that little polar bear paper is. Okay, so that just goes right there. Cute. And then here we have another one of the beautiful ephemera pieces that I fussy cut. I used my little tiny attacher to go ahead and attach this ribbon here. And then these are a couple of the My Colors that I did some stitching around just to make another photo mat there that tucks in just like this. So I only glued on the bottom here. And then I'll close that up. This opens out to the right. You can see I have a fun little pocket here that I layered with some of that golden tree paper and then the gold, and then on top of that I have the ivory color of the My Colors, and then this 3x4 cut apart from the collection. I made it into a pocket, so I have a couple more of the cut aparts there, and then I made a little photo mat here as well, so that just tucks in there. And then on this right hand side, finally, I'm using another one of the little cut aparts. I only glued the top underneath so that I could have a fun little spot for the tuck here. Isn't this gorgeous paper? I just love that. I went ahead and layered that up on that soft blue as well. So we will be doing a tutorial of this after I finish writing down all the different measurements that I used. And I do have a lot of the paper still left, so I'm definitely going to make another little small project, but I hope that you join with me in making this folio because it is super beautiful paper, and I'd love to see it in this paper and many others that you would be creating with. Okay, until next time everyone, happy crafting you all. Goodbye. All right everybody, hello there, and let's get started with the tutorial to make this a fun quick flip folio is what I'm calling it. This is using that Winter Magic collection by Country Craft Creations, and I'm going to run through with you even cutting out the cardstock for this project because I think it is just that very quick flip through project to do. So when I talk about the cutting, and I'm going to put the cut guide up in just a moment here, but I'm going to talk about the left hand side and then the right hand side. Okay, so everything is based on that with the cutting guide, and I will show you a picture of that just now so you can stop the photo, or this video I mean, and take a quick photo snapshot, or just pause it here and run through the measurements. But we're going to do this together other than the chipboard. So I have two pieces of 6 by 8, and the first measurement that I give is always the width, and then the second one is going to be the height, so 8 inches tall. So you need 2 of those, and then you need one chipboard piece that measures 1 inch by 8 inch, and that's going to be our spine. So I've already pre-cut those, but the cardstock we're going to do together. And when I cut my papers, I'm going to go ahead and lay them out with 2 different stacks, one for the left, one for the right. Okay, so let's get started by cutting with our, I'm using 12 by 12 cardstock here. I'm going to go ahead and pull out my portions of my cutting paper so that I can cut this down to, let's see, 8 inches by 10 inches. So the first cut that I'm going to make, and I'm using the gray, which is a dark gray color of Artisan cardstock. It's available at countrycraftcreations.com. So cutting this down to 8 inches, and then we're going to set that to the side, but we're going to work with this larger piece, and we're going to cut this down to 10 inches. Now that's going to be for my left stack, and I'm going to do exactly the same thing for my right stack because these are the largest pieces. I want to cut those first. So another piece that measures 8 inches by 10 inches. And I don't know why I said left and right because these are just the covers. So yeah, 8 inches by 10 inches, we need 2 of them. And then we're going to pick up our 2 drop pieces that we had. These are 4 inches wide, and we're going to go ahead and cut for the spine. So because it's already 4 inches, we're going to turn this and we're going to cut this down to 10 inches. And that's going to be for our outer spine. And then we're going to cut another piece down, and that's going to be at 7 7/8 inches, just like that. And that's going to be for the inside of the spine. So now I have 4 pieces already cut from just those 2 pieces of cardstock, and I'm going to lay these chipboard pieces with it and set that off to the side on my table. Now you'll see that we had a couple little scrap pieces left. You want to hold on to these, but I am going to put them just off to the side there because we will come back to those. So grab your third piece of cardstock here if you're using 12 by 12, and we're going to continue with the measurements. So now moving forward with the left hand side, we need one piece that measures 6.5 by 8. So let's cut that 6.5 inch measurement first. And then we're going to turn that 6.5 inch piece down to 8 inches. Okay, and now that's our left hand side. And now we're going to do exactly the same thing for our right. So we're going to grab another piece and we're going to cut it down to 6.5 inches. Just like that. Turn that and measure 8 inches. Okay, and that's going to be our right. So I'm starting my left and my right stack. Next I need a piece that measures 5.5 by 8. So come back to your stack of papers here, grab the one that is 5.5 inches, and let's go ahead and cut that down to 8 inches. Okay, this is going to be your top down flap on the left hand side. Okay, now grab the other piece that is 5.5 inches, and then we're going to cut this down to 8.5 inches. Okay, and that goes with your right stack. Okay, next we need a piece that measures 6.5 by 2. So let's go back to our pieces over here at the side, and let's pick up one piece that we have that measures 2 inches in width already, and go ahead and turn that, and we're going to cut it down to 6.5 inches. This is going to be our bottom pocket for the left, so put it on the left stack. Okay, next we're going to continue. We need a 2 inch by 4 inch piece. So grab your other piece that measures 2 inches. You should have 2 of them. We have a shorter one, and let's go ahead and check that, and that already measures 2 by 4. So put that in your left hand stack. That is going to be your pocket buckle. All right, now we need a belly band that measures 5.5 inches by 2.5 inches. Okay, and I'm always going to go to my stack here first, and I'm going to grab this sheet right here that measures 4 by 6.5, and we're going to go ahead and cut this one down so it measures 5.5 by 2.5. So let me first cut the width, 2.5 inches. It's the smaller measurement. Okay, and then I'm going to cut this down to 5.5 inches. All right, so this is our belly band. That's going to go on the left-hand side, left-hand stack. And then we need 2 pieces that measure 5 7/8 by 5, and that's going to be for the left-hand side as well. So I'm going to grab my next sheet of full-size 12 by 12 paper, and we're going to go ahead and first cut this down to 5 inches, just like that. And we're going to turn this, and we're going to cut it down to 5 7/8 inches. It's our first cut. Goes on the left stack. Now we're going to cut the rest of it down to, again, 5 7/8 inches. So now we've cut 2 of those. We need some more. So we're going to go back to this piece right here, okay, that we had just set aside, and we're going to cut 2 more of those. So let's do the same thing again. Let's first cut it at 5 inches. And we're going to turn this piece, and we're going to cut it down to 5 7/8 inches. And then the next one at 5 7/8 inches. Okay, now you should be completely done with your left-hand side, and we need to go back to the stack on the right-hand side. Okay, we're going to pick up with our double flaps. We need 2 of those, and we need those to be 4 inches by 8 inches. So we don't have anything in this little stack of scraps right here that we can use for that. So we're going to have to choose another 12 by 12 piece. And let's go ahead and cut this down to, we need it to be 4 by 8. So we're going to cut it down to 4 inches. Let me see, 8 inches. Okay. And then we're going to turn it, and we're going to cut it down to 4 inches, and then a second one at 4. Actually, we cut that first one off, so let me show you this. Okay, we have this like this. So we cut initially at 8 inches. It was turned like this, right? And back up. I first cut at 8 inches, and that came off. We're going to use this one, so let's hold on to that. And then I turned it, and I put this in, and I cut this down to 4 inches, so that I have this large square that drops off, and I have one piece that measures 4 by 8. I'm going to set that aside, and then I'm going to pick this one up, and I'm going to cut this down to 8 inches. Okay, and then we have 2 pieces from that that measure 4 by 8, and you still have this large piece left over for another cut. So we need the inside pocket. So we need one piece that measures 6 7/8 inches by 5 inches. And that's why I wanted you to cut this one the way I did, so that we can still use this. So the first measurement we're going to cut is 5 inches. Okay, we're going to turn that and we're going to cut this at 6 7/8 inches. Just like that. And that is our inside pocket. So you should have your scrap pieces, a couple that you can use for tags and photos, right, that you can cut down further. And I usually will stack mine up just from smallest to tallest, because it helps me do it. And then you have a couple of little tiny scraps, right? So make sure to set these off to the side, because I do not want to get those mixed up. And then I will just throw these away. All right, we are done with all the cutting. So let's put that to the side. Look at that, 11 minutes in, already cut. Okay, I'm going to move over to the chipboard. So let me go ahead. I am going to pause this so that this video isn't way too long. I'm going to go ahead and put some double-sided tape on these, and then I'm going to use my pieces that I cut for the cover, and I will put it together following the lay flat method. So if you do not know what the lay flat method is, please check out the link in the description box below that I have already made a tutorial for you, but it is very, very simple to do, and it really does allow the cover of the album or the folio to lay flat itself. Now, I don't guarantee that all the pages lay flat, because I like to make mine very chunky, so that's that. But now we have our double-sided tape. So, by the way, I had pulled out 10 sheets of cardstock for this project, and I have 4 left. So we only used 6 pieces of cardstock so far to do this project. So let's get our scoreboard back out. I'm going to place this off to the side, and let's do the scoring for our left side and start putting this together right afterwards. Okay, so left side. I'm going to take my stack, and I'm actually going to turn it over so that I am starting with this piece right here that measures 6.5 by 8 inches. And so I am going to score this on the 6.5 inch side at 1/2 inch. And actually I'm seeing that I'm a little bit long. Better. So let me go ahead and score this at 1/2 inch. Not sure what the heck is going on with my paper here. All right, scored that at 1/2 inch. That shouldn't have been so difficult. Next one, that's our page flap. Top down flap. On the 8 inch side, we're going to score it at 1/2 inch. Okay. Next, we're going to have our bottom pocket. On the 6.5 inch side, we're going to score it at 1/2 inch, and then at 6 inches. Quarter turn. On the 2 inch side, we're going to go ahead and score it at 1/2 inch. Okay, that's going to be our pocket. Next, we have our pocket buckle. On the 4 inch side, we're going to go ahead and score it at 1/2 inch. Next, we have our belly band. This measures 5.5 inches by 2.5 inches. No scoring. Next, we have our top and bottom explosion sides. So this measures 5 7/8 inches by 5 inches. And on the 5 inch side, we're going to go ahead and score it at 1/2 inch. We have 2 of those. Let's do that again. Score it at 1/2 inch on the 5 inch side. Okay, then we have our left and right explosion. So this is the same measurement, 5 by 7 7/8 inches. So again, at the 5 inch, we're going to go ahead and score it at 1/2 inch. And last time, at the 5 inch, at the top of the scoreboard, score that at 1/2 inch. Let's move on to our right side. So I'm going to take that stack, turn it over. So now I'm back to my page flap for the right hand side. On the 6.5 inch side, which is the measurement at the top of my scoreboard, I'm going to go ahead and score at 1/2 inch and set that to the side. Next, we have our top up flap. This is 5.5 inches by 8.5 inches. On the 8.5 inch side, we're going to go ahead and score that at 1/2 inch. The double flap measures 4 by 8 inches. We have 2 of these. On the 4 inch side, we're going to go ahead and score it at 1/2 inch. Both of those on the 4 inch side at 1/2 inch. And lastly, we're going to have our inside pocket. This measures 6 7/8 inches by 5 inches. We're going on the 6 7/8 inch side, we're going to go ahead and score this at 1/2 inch and 6 3/8 inches. So that's 1/2 inch on either side. A quarter turn, so that the 5 inches at the top, and we're going to go ahead and score that at 1/2 inch. That is all the scoring. So now I get to put the scoreboard away. I'm coming back to the left-hand side, turn it over once again, so I am back at the page flap, and I'm going to go ahead and burnish. Okay, burnish the page flap. Then I'm going to pull my folio in, and because remember we are working on the left-hand side, I'm going to go ahead and build this as I go. So on the left-hand side, we're working on this one. This page flap is actually going to be this page right here. Okay, so it opens to the left, so that means that we need our 1/2 inch right here to have glue on the back side of it. Why is my glue not working now? Wow, that's a lot of glue. And I'm going to go ahead and place this down so that the fold is at the left-hand side, okay, of my folio. Measure up the, make sure that your top and bottom is aligned with your folio, the chipboard piece, because now is the time, while you have wet glue, people, to make sure that it's lined up. Oh, wait. Oh boy. Whew, I have the glue. Oh shoot. Ribbon, we need the ribbon. Whew, that was a close one. Okay. we need ribbon. If you're going to use your ribbon closure, now is the time for your outside of your book to go ahead and place that on. Ooh. Okay, I'm going to put a little note in the video so that you don't glue yours down by mistake and have to rip it off. All right, I've got this long piece of ribbon for the next project. I find the other side. There you go. I've used double-sided tape. I'm just taping it down. That's all I'm doing there, people. Okay. Give it a good little stick there. Now, let's try this again. Pretend that this isn't all ripped up because I'm not wasting this piece of paper. No siree. Now we're going to go ahead and place this down. The fold towards the outside. The top and the bottom lined up. Also, if you want to do your rounding of your corners, it's probably a good idea to think about all of the stuff that you're going to have on top before you go rounding your corners. I am not going to do that because you have other pieces that you may want to line up. Okay, so you might want this one rounded, but you might not. You might want these rounded, you might not. Let me think. Are there any I don't want rounded? I'll do it after. People, I'll do it after. Okay, now, also check the inside. Make sure you're not gluing your paper down to places you don't want it glued to, right? Oy, yay. What a mess, heavy-handed. Okay, next. This is the top-down flap. What do I mean by top-down flap? Close that up. This is going to be on the top of this flap page, and it's going to be glued down here. So our little 1/2-inch strip is going to be glued onto here. We're lining it up with the outside bottom corner, and it's going to be on top of the flat page, and it's going to fold down. We're going to have another one up here. It's going to fold up on the right-hand side, but this one comes down. So let's go ahead and place glue here. Glue it down onto the top of that prior page flap, all the way at the bottom of the page. Make sure you're straight. Open it up. Give it a good burnish again. Okay. All right. The pocket. Open that flap back down, and let's cut out the corners to this pocket. So you have the 3 score lines, okay? And then we're going to cut out those corner sections just like that. Make a pocket. I'm going to fold under the 2 sides, and then I'm going to fold under the bottom. Just like that. Now I'm going to place glue on the back side of these little 1/2-inch strips here, and this is going to get placed here. Okay, burnish it down. Align it with the bottom of that top-down flap, okay? Burnish it down really well. This is this piece right here, okay? Next we need our little buckle piece. So you're going to be grabbing that. Let's go ahead and fold on that score line. Burnish it down. Now, how do you know where to place this? Well, you should have in your stack 2 square pieces, okay, that roughly are able to measure 4 by 4. Why do I have one that's a little bit longer? Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to trim it though. Now, you have 2 pieces that measure 4 by 4. What did I do? I placed them in the pocket, and then that let me place this piece. So let me show you what it is that I did. Okay, and this just folds in just like so. Okay, so here's what I did. Hopefully you can see this on the dark gray. I stuffed these in the pocket. Make sure they're all the way down in the pocket, okay? Then I took this little closure piece, and I placed glue on the back side of this 1/2-inch flap. Okay, then I slightly lifted up these 2 photo mats. I tucked that 1/2-inch flap underneath there. Okay, I decided where I wanted these because I wanted this off to the side, not in the middle, not off to the to the corner. And then I wanted to just push it up just slightly so that I have a little bit of a gap. And I believe what I ended up doing is 4 1/4 inches from the bottom of this page here to the fold of this buckle piece, okay? And I burnish that down, and that should allow you to open it up, and it'll be attached right there. And that way you can shove these into the little pocket. You give it just a slight little squeeze, and there it holds those in. See? They don't fall out. Okay? All right. So that's it for that one. Let's keep moving. Next we have, we're going to open this flap up to the left. Okay? Sorry, one other piece. The next piece was our belly band. So the belly band is going to go right on the front of here, but we are not going to attach it just yet because we need our decorative paper. So all we're going to do is place a little paper clip like that, or a big paper clip. All right, let's keep moving. So next we have the top and bottom explosion, the left and the right explosion. These are going to go just like so. We're going to go like this. Going to go to the left. It's going to go to the right. Okay, they all go here. You get to choose which ones open on the top and which ones are underneath. So I'm going to go ahead and start with this left-hand side. Make sure that you don't put your score line, your folded edge, over beyond the score mark here. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm just eyeball centering this. Place some glue on this little flap here. Eyeball center. Good enough. Fold is not going over the score line. Let me burnish that down. Open it up, burnish it down. Next I have the one that goes on the right hand side. Am I in frame? Yes, okay, good. Make sure that you are lined up with your left piece, the top and the bottom, right? And that your folded edge doesn't go into the little crease that you left in between your two chipboard pieces. You want to make sure that you still have that space there, okay? Open this up. Trim in. Okay, and now for the top and the bottom. Put the glue on the back side there, and you're going to go right up against the top of your chipboard piece. And this should fit just in between your left and right flaps, just in case you want to, just in case you want the left and the right to be on top instead of the top and the bottom. Your choice. Okay, now that's going to go down here. Same thing, you want these to line up. So make sure they're all the way down. Cool. At the edge. Okay. All right. Choosing to have mine in like that, and then like that, and then that comes over. That is your left-hand side. Let's move on to the right-hand side. So we're going to have our stack from the right, turn it over. Okay, let's start with our page flap first. So we're going to go ahead and burnish that 1/2 inch score line. I'm going to place glue on the back side of that 1/2 inch. And again, these are going to open outward, so we want to put the folded edge all the way at the right-hand side of our chipboard piece. And make sure as you're doing this, again, that you leave that little gap in between your two chipboard pieces. If you need to push this out a little bit beyond your chipboard, better to do that than to have this sticking over your chipboard. You can push this over and just about create yourself a new score if you need to. But you really need to make sure that you don't get into this gap so that it can actually close. I definitely cut it good. So that's all right. I'll make my new little score line. Okay. Good. Good as new. Next we're going to move on to the top up flap. Okay. So this is the one that's going to be up here. I'm going to do a little dry fit first to make sure I'm fitting right. Yep. Okay. We're going to go ahead and put glue on this 1/2 inch flap. And then that's aligned with the outside top corner of our flap page. So it is on top of the flap, and it flips up. Boy, these boys are loud today. And because I refolded my piece, I had a little piece sticking over the edge, so I'm going to trim that. Goodness, hopefully you can't hear the barking that's going on in the background. All right, double flaps. The double flaps are next. Let's burnish these. We're going to have one that measures here, but we need our other ribbon. We have one that lays on the opposite side. Make sure that you put it onto this top up flap, okay? Not the underneath page. But I do want my other ribbon to be placed first. Where's my other ribbon? Here it is, Nicole. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and place that here. And here. I'm not putting it in the middle. I'm putting it just down a little bit. Does that make sense? I don't know. Let's see. Where do we want to place it? About 3 inches from the bottom. Good enough. Three inches from the bottom. Close enough. Okay. Now we get to place these double flaps. As I called it, folded edge to the outside here. Okay, line up the top and bottom, burnish it down. Next one, place glue on your 1/2 inch flap. Align it with the left-hand side. Align the top and bottom. Burnish that down. Now that lets this close, let's go ahead and give this a little bow here. Good enough. Okay. Extra large, but that's okay. All right, last piece. Open this whole right side up, and we're going to place the pocket down here. So let's go ahead and burnish. Oh, no. Let's cut out the corners, right? It's a pocket now. So cutting out the corners. Hello, Truman. What you got? Your baby toy. I see you. And that should fit right here, centered on your right hand side or the back side of your chipboard, okay? So let's go ahead and place glue on those flaps. We're almost done here. Just like so. Glue that down. Make sure it's pushed down where I want it. A little bit of time to work with it with the glue, and you know I'm going to have to remove those 2 pieces of tape. Did anybody else yell at me? Oh no, okay, that's not on that side. Through the camera. I don't want to remove it just yet because I want to be able to stick my paper down, my decorative paper. Okay, voila. This doesn't go on until we have our decorative paper, but there is the folio. Let's give it a little tie here. And now, okay, there we go. This is our folio. Move all the chunk out of the way. Okay, opened it up. We have here our belly band. Let's see if I can show both of them at the same time. Maybe, yes. Okay, our double flaps here. This lifts up just like so, and it lifts to the right. You see your pocket here, your beautiful page there. Okay, there's our pocket for inserts. Then we have our belly band here that we're going to place after the decorative paper. It flaps down like that. We have our little piece here. We put our spot for our photo there. Okay. We'll fold this back up and open it to the left. And we have our top flap, our bottom flap, and our left and our right. Okay. You choose which way you want to do it. Okay, one other thing before I leave you, I did say in my walkthrough that I was going to show you how to make this little envelope here. And so I used my envelope punch board. This is a wonderful tool. I cut down another piece, so grab out one more piece of cardstock, and I cut this down to 5 3/4 inches by 5 3/4 inches square. Okay, and then I put the corner into my punch board at 2 5/8 inches. So I'm going to see, where is that 2 5/8 inches? Over here, and that's where my corner lies. I'm going to go ahead and push down on the button to punch, and then I'm going to drag my little tool, my burnishing tool, down this little groove. Okay, then I'm going to rotate it a 1/4 turn, and I'm going to go ahead and line up the score that I just made right in front of this little notch piece, right in front of it, so that if you did drag it this way, you would be making that same score line. Okay, but as soon as you line that up, go ahead and give it another punch, and then drag your tool down again. Okay, same thing, rotate, line up the line just in front of that, push down, score, rotate, right in front of that little bubble speech mark, push down, score. And this will let you line up those corners really nicely. Then you use the opposite side of your envelope punch board for these corners to round them. So place it in there. Oop, my big head bumped the camera. Place it in there. Punch that. Sorry if I made you motion sick. Look at that. Just like that, all finished with that. Okay? Now, before we move on, if you want your inside portion to be lined, it is a lot easier to do that now. So before you glue anything down, make sure that you figure out what you want your envelope to be, either landscape or if you want it to be portrait. Okay, so taller. You need to figure that out, and then you can go ahead and select your paper and cut it down to size. Okay, so now I selected a piece of my scrap paper, and I'm going to have this be landscape mode. So we want to make sure to cover the piece that's going to show in here and this flap. Okay, so in order to do that, I'm going to open this up. I'm going to place my paper in here like so, and I'm going to hold this so that I have just a little insy beansy bit of that top corner showing. And then also this left-hand side. So let me put this underneath. Maybe it'll be easier to see. Can you see that little bit of the envelope showing? Then over here, you're going to have just a little bit of that side edge showing. Okay, I'm just going to hold it like so. I'm going to grab a pencil, and I'm going to mark from here to here, just leaving a little bit, maybe 1/8 of an inch away from the edge of the paper. Then I'm going to mark here 1/8 of an inch away from my gray paper, and I'm going to mark here 1/8 of an inch away from my gray paper. Okay, then I'm going to use my straight edge, and I'm going to go ahead and connect those dots like that. And like that. Use my scissors here. I think I got off of my line already. But not too bad. So I made those 2 marks, and now I'm going to come right here. I'll put this underneath so you can see again. Right here. I'm looking at the score line down here, and I'm coming in just about an 1/8 there. I'm going to do the same thing, connect those 2 dots, just like that, and cut down that score. All right, and if you want to use your little rounding tool, just use your rounding tool or use your envelope punch board, right? And just stick it in there and give it a little punch, and now you have a rounded edge, okay? You don't need your paper to go all the way down into your envelope. All you really need is to make sure that when you fold these in and when you fold this up, that you're covering it, okay? And then the next thing you want to do, I do it before I glue, is I hold these together and then I go ahead and make a little crease on my decorative paper, and I give that a good burnish. Okay, I'm holding it still so it doesn't shift around on me. I open it up, and now I can do all of the gluing. So grab my glue here. I'm going to go ahead and place some glue on the back side here. I'm not placing it on any glue on that little fold. I'm just going to let that happen naturally. Okay, line this up. Give it a bit of a burnish there. Make sure that this folds really well still. Okay, that's going to be the top. Oh, see? It already got off on me. Look at me, look at me. Did I say that I like glue? Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's try this again. All right. Why is it fighting me, people? This is how we do. I have a little, oh, see, I have a gap. That's why. Nicole. Okay. Let me make sure it is tight into that crease. That's why it is tearing apart for me. Okay. There we go. Don't glue it crooked. How about that? Get to go all the way in the crease. Yay. All right, now these can come in. I'm just placing glue on the edge of my envelope right there. Place a little at the top. Not all the way at the top, but you saw what I did. Okay, that's it. That's our little, not burnish enough, people. Okay, it's an envelope with a liner inside. What can I say? Is it cute? Yes, it's cute. It's cute. All right, everybody, I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. Make sure that you give me a thumbs up, please. It helps my channel. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed and you found this folio to be very helpful in this tutorial, along with the cutting instructions that I've provided for free, courtesy of countrycraftcreations.com as being one of their design team members. And please always check out in the description box below the affiliate links that we have. It doesn't cost you any more money, but it does help support my channel. Okay, everybody, until next time, happy crafting you all. Goodbye.